We've all seen the beginning of multiple horror movies. The killer chases around a blonde and conventionally attractive woman until she is killed brutally. Sometimes this woman might even be naked. Unfortunately, the men in the movie are usually never near the same leagues their girl counterparts are in these movies. Not just horror movies, we see this with all genres of movies as well. An attractive woman who would not have her hair look that good if she was really scaling cave walls on the daily, or would wear a shirt with that much cleavage if she is fighting off criminals. Women in movies are presented as objects to be gawked at rather than creating a realistic female character. Horror movies depict the average teenage girl to be someone who is pretty and constantly looks as if there is a camera on them, rather than just a teenager going about their lives. We see in Scream, Drew Barrymore starts us off by being the first one in the film that is murdered. No one can deny that she is very pretty, but would a girl really be spending a night at home alone with flat-ironed hair and perfect makeup? In John Carpenter's Halloween, we see the first girl killed as a pretty girl who is sitting in her room almost completely naked. The camera makes sure to get a good view of her breasts as she dies. These movies depict women who are just lounging around as perfectly made up or naked, which isn't realistic to the average woman who does not put on a full face of makeup to watch television. These women all seem to have perfect bodies. The main female lead is usually an equally attractive woman with her gorgeous best friend. If these characters do have boyfriends, they might be considered cute, but not up to the standards that the women are. The same man who played Shaggy in Scooby-Doo was casted to play one of the boyfriends in Scream to put into perspective what the standards of men are. Action movies promote these unrealistic standards of women, similar to horror movies. Women are never at the gym wearing leathered pants, heeled boots, and a jacket exposing just the right amount of cleavage. These women also fall into the same category with this ideal body women should have, but in reality, a woman who is constantly fighting and doing physical tasks would be much more muscular than skinny. Lara Croft, for example, she was created as a video game character for men. She is most definitely not muscular. A girl who is seen often climbing up the sides of walls would have muscular thighs and biceps. The type of body most women avoid having because for so long it has been seen as manly, and women try to avoid looking masculine. Another example of this is Captain Marvel. In her comic books, has abs seen through her costume as well as defined leg muscles, but she is casted as Brie Larson for the live-action movie. A very different looking actress from what the comic book character looks like, since she is skinnier than the original character design. A woman who was once in the military and now is fighting crime would definitely need more muscle to her. Action movies as a whole are not realistic and don't promote realistic body images. With all this skewed imagery of women, how does this affect a woman's opinion of herself? There is a link between negative body images and eating disorders from what is portrayed in the media. Even seeing skinny and attractive women without any references to weight can still put negative ideas into women's and mostly teens' minds. It can be found on the show Friends mostly. The show was wildly popular, but the average everyday people in that show were all skinny, attractive women. One episode poked fun at the character Monica, who wore a fat suit. Even when the show doesn't reference weight, those watching it start to have negative thoughts about their bodies afterwards. Media Smarts did a study on the effects of television and if there is a link to eating disorders and negative body image. The article states, researchers found that watching a 10-minute segment of the show had a negative effect on how satisfied young women were with their appearance. The show wasn't intentionally trying to make young women feel negatively about their appearance. But when the standards for women playing the average woman are set so high, there are negative consequences. Women on TV and in films are almost never a realistic depiction of a woman. They are all attractive and skinny women who pretend to be this average girl lounging in her home, or a woman who is going to her day job fighting crime. The portrayal of women in media can have a negative impact on young women. There needs to be a change to what we see in movies and television to combat the negative body image women project upon themselves from the media. The best way to fight this is to start hiring actresses who accurately fit the description of the characters they're playing.